afternoon. You are on to NTA Nationwide News. My name is Femi Johnson and thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari says he will be expecting assistance from several concerned countries in helping Nigeria become great in socio-economic frontiers. Speaking on efforts to diversify the economy with focus on agriculture and solid rural development, he said he will recruit right hands, including technocrats, and from the private sector.
We understand our problem and we are planning and asking the cooperation of developed countries that have voluntarily offered to help us, not only in security, but again on employment. And I say the vicious circle is insecurity, unemployment, the economy, infrastructure, power especially, and so on, and then corruption. So this vicious circle, this party, APC,
must tackle.
Yeah, we have to tackle it because it's the most realistic way of getting Nigeria to bounce back as economically viable country.
Tune in for details on the program Towards a Greater Nigeria to be transmitted on NTA Network Service at 10 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, international relations analysts have also been commenting on President Muhammadu Buhari's scheduled visit to the United States, describing the development as timely and more likely to engender better relations between both countries. This was part of submissions made by guests on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria, which previewed the coming visit and its possible impact on the Nigerian polity. Let's join Oyeyemi Ajayi for details.
Relations between Nigeria and the United States dates back a long time and cuts across different spheres of life. Though at some point in the recent past, relationship between both countries was seemingly strained owing to some ideological differences, all that appears to be water under the bridge, with both countries now planning for the future and the prospects it holds.
There was a time America was buying up to 25% of Nigeria's crude oil. Today, as we speak, we don't even know that they are no longer with us in oil business.
In terms of the Nigeria benefiting from the AGOA, I must say we have not, derived the type of benefit that the U.S. thought we could.
Recent invitation of President Muhammadu Buhari by the United States government is seen as an indication of the renewed commitment by both nations to push the frontiers of binational relationship and work for mutual interest.
The major issues we are talking about is the 3 Ds of strategic studies. When we talk about the 3 Ds, we are talking about is a diplomatic, military, or development efforts. And today we are facing a very serious security problem in Nigeria, and we felt that these issues must be seriously exploited.
Some other guests on the program, however, said security, especially how to stop the Boko Haram insurgents, should be on the front burner and not same-sex marriage as proposed by the U.S. government.
I know very well that the president is a man of principle and very firm in his beliefs. Like we have been saying all along, the national interest of Nigeria is what really matters. And definitely equal sex relationship is not part of our own national interest.
Not our law. Our law is definitely against that sort of lifestyle, and we hope the president will represent our interests here by agreeing to disagree.
Though the Nigeria-U.S. relations has an output of $36 billion, the guests were of the view that Nigerians should exploit the vast resources in the country, as no country can grow while depending on other countries. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
We are now yet done with Nigeria, United States of America, and as President Muhammadu Buhari also prepares to visit the United States next week, experts are also projecting that Nigeria should look beyond oil and focus more attention on other issues and other products that could ensure job creation and also generate wealth. This, they say, will further boost trade relations between the two countries. Incidentally, the issue of trade and investment is part of the agenda President Buhari is taking to the United States. Vivian Idekpefo has more.
Relations between Nigeria and the United States of America, which spans over 5 decades, has been largely pushed by oil and the agricultural sectors. With the discovery of shale gas by the United States and the decline in global oil prices, trading figures between both countries, according to analysts, have declined. These experts believe provides the leverage Nigeria needs to push its diversification policy into the non-oil sector.
We should begin to go beyond what we regard as benefits from America, which is capacity building for agriculture, putting in place the right environment for agriculture to happen, and then be able to produce and export to the American market.
We're working even with the USAID on many items. We have a 4-year cashew development program. We're also working on cocoa. And the idea is not only for raw material, encouraging American investors to try and invest in manufacturing and industry in Nigeria. U.S.
foreign direct investment in Nigeria in 2012 was $8.2 billion, representing a 53.6% increase from 2011. However, in 2013, Nigeria ranked as the 30th supplier of imports into the United States, totaling $11.7 billion, a decline of 38% from 2012. Under the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement, TIFA, which seeks to strengthen AGOA, analysts believe these figures can be reversed.
I would like the president to put it on the table, if possible, elicit the support of the American businessmen, particularly those in the standardization business, to bring their offices here so that they can certify them, certify the quality, the packaging, and even the manner of exports. We are sure that that which has left Nigeria, the value must come to Nigeria.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Abdul Musa, says President Buhari's visit to the United States holds a lot for Nigeria and Nigerians.
We are looking for the kind of investment that will develop the country, more or less create jobs for our citizens, be inclusive, put money in their pocket, food on the table. The youths that are roaming our streets, if I ever had the chance, what I would really dwell on, I wish the Americans can franchise ICT jobs to Nigerians, you know, whether it is from the public sector or private sector, so that will be used as a stepping stone to so many people, because ICT is the key to so many areas.
Nigerians are high on expectation that this visit will be mutually beneficial, riding on the goodwill that President Muhammadu Buhari enjoys, particularly from the international community. In Abuja, Vivian Idekpefo, NTA News.
Away from Nigeria and United States of America trade relations, the newly appointed Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tukur Buratai, has officially taken over from his predecessor, Lieutenant General Kenneth Minma, with a resolve to take the service to greater heights. This was at the handing and taking over ceremony, which was held at the Nigerian Army headquarters in Abuja. Defense correspondent Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports.
The handing and taking over parade followed an established regimented pattern in line with the military tradition. While the new Chief of Army Staff expressed his determination to confront headlong the internal security challenges, his predecessor said he has bequeathed a disciplined force.
I'm leaving behind an army that can hold its own against any adversary without batting an eyelid. An army that has vowed never again to concede any inch of Nigeria's territory to terrorists.
We make sure that discipline is maintained, and the high standard of discipline must be maintained by everybody.
Lowering an exchange of flags as well as inspection of guards climaxed the parade. It is a dawn of a new era in the annals of the Nigerian Army as the 20th Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tukur
Buratai, a seasoned infantry officer, assumed the command of the 152-years-old service, which came into existence since 1863. From the Nigerian Army Headquarters, Abuja, Muhammad Abdel Kadri, NTA News.
In another development, the federal government has so far under Safe School initiative transferred about 2,400 students from the high-risk areas in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states to across 43 federal unity colleges across the country. Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Muhammad Sani Sidi, said that these are the opening of a workshop organized by a group of journalists to review NEMA management. Wahab reports.
Journalists and essentially media workers gathered at this event to be briefed on efforts of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in the wake of growing terrorist acts in northeast Nigeria. But more importantly, they hope to review these efforts and be to make NEMA's intervention efforts and boost its journalists against disaster.
Is aimed at providing a platform for all relevant stakeholders in disaster management to share such vital information and experience in line with duty, especially in the Northeast and internally displaced persons camps across the country.
For the intervention of NEMA and other relevant agencies in disaster management, it is a work in progress with challenges but with many achievements to show. Various priorities now are improving the standard of living of internally displaced persons in designated camps, as well as reducing the number of inmates in the various camps across the country.
There has to be a concerted effort from all fronts to develop the social, economic and environmental conditions of the Northeast.
And for IDP management to be efficient, NEMA says it must be driven across jurisdictions, sectors, disciplines and resources, which requires ownership and commitment of federal, state and local governments, civil society organizations and of the private sector. In Abuja, Musbao and Wahab, NTA News.
The Primary Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has also appealed to Nigerians to complement government efforts in addressing the plight of internally displaced persons. He made the appeal when he visited the internally displaced persons to donate relief materials at the new Kuchingoro camp in Abuja. Correspondent Obiagili Ugoke reports.
United Nations statistics shows that as of April 2015, over 3.3 million Nigerians are internally displaced and are currently taken aboard in various camps across the country.
We are living here, especially me. I have never seen this kind of situation that we are having since I was born.
Worried by this trend, concerned Nigerians and corporate organizations have continued to identify with the victims of insurgency through donations of life-saving and relief materials. Latest on the list is the Anglican primate visit.
For the sake of humanity, which we all have in common, we must share what we have to reduce the level of their suffering, because the suffering is much.
He urged the youths amongst them to avoid indulging in social vices, but exercise patience as government is working hard to get them back to their homes. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
And to religious matters as part of efforts to sensitize Nigerians on the essence of Christian pilgrimage, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, NCPC, has visited Akwa Ibom, Rivers and Bayelsa states. The report.
In Akwa Ibom State, the NCPC team, led by the Executive Secretary, met with the Governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, who praised the transformational leadership of Mr. John Kennedy Okpara. Governor Emmanuel, who promised to support the commission, said he is interested in partnering with the Israeli government in the area of agriculture. The Bayelsa Governor, Siaki Dixon, also played host to the NCPC team. Governor Dixon described the pilgrimage lottery scheme as a laudable initiative which will encourage more participation of Nigerians. Mr. John Kennedy Okpara stressed the spiritual importance of pilgrimage, promising that the 2015 edition will be hitch-free. In Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike assured NCPC that his government will continue to support Christian pilgrimage in all its ramifications in view of its spiritual importance. The NCPC boss called on Christians to embrace pilgrimage.
To ensure that only those who are spiritually rich but materially poor are given the privilege of going to pray for Nigeria in the Holy Land.
The 2015 Christian pilgrimage to Israel, Greece, and Rome will commence in October. Ruben Okala, NTA News.
Still on religious matters, the Sultanate Council of Sokoto has requested the Muslim community to look out for the new moon, Shawwal, today being Thursday, the 16th of July. A statement issued by the Chairman, Sultanate Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Professor Sambo Wali Junaid, said, if sighted, the nearest village or district head should be contacted for forward communication to the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arasi, has ordered for an effective and extensive deployment of personnel to ensure hitch-free Salah celebration. A statement from the force headquarters says the Inspector General of Police has equally mandated all Assistant Inspector General of Police and Command Commissioners to secure key valuable points, including Yidi praying grounds and other places of worship, as well as public places and recreation centers across the country. The Inspector General of Police, while rejoicing when the Muslim Ummah joins them to be vigilant and report any suspicious persons or project to the nearest police station or security agents. We are not yet done with Salah matters, as the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Boboye Oyeyemi, has also cautioned motorists to be extra vigilant on the ways to ensure accident-free Eid al-Fitr celebration nationwide. In a statement, the Corps Marshal enjoined motorists to avoid dangerous driving, overloading, speed violation, and making calls while driving. Mr. Boboye, while congratulating Muslim faithful for the success of Ramadan fast, urged road users to observe road traffic rules and regulations at all times. And our first up is Lagos Network Center, where Jennifer is standing by for news making round in that zone. Jennifer, it's over to you.
Thank you, Ferry, for joining us in Lagos. Good evening, and many thanks for joining us in the Lagos Network Center. France Ambassador to Nigeria, Dennis Galva, and South Africa Consul General Ambassador Mogeti Naisa have paid a courtesy visit to the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, with the due indicating the interest of their countries to increase their economic presence in the state. Victoria Olabode completes the story.
Mr. Gwa said more French companies are considering establishing their presence in Lagos, as well as partner the state government on infrastructural development. He said that the French development companies currently partner the state in the financing of certain projects as it relates to city planning, public transportation, and waste management, as well as security.
Ironically, it is also through Boko Haram. That means Boko Haram becomes a real threat for Nigeria, but also for all the neighboring countries. So it's a threat for the whole region. And so we discovered that we had to work more together.
Responding, Governor Ambode told the French envoy that Lagos is expanding its frontiers to accommodate investors willing to set up their businesses in the
state. We're going to have a co-funded education exchange in terms of language, in terms of politics, and in terms of political economy of France. And Lagos will be so delighted to have you partner with us in that respect.
The Consul General of South Africa, Mr. Monaise Mogeti, was also on a visit to the governor to intimate him on the activities lined up to mark the birth of the late South African icon, late Dr. Nelson Mandela.
We had the opportunity of having an occasion, an event that we called A Tale of Two African Cities a few years ago.
Ambassador Monaisa noted that South African-Nigerian relations have come a long way, not just as trade partners, but as brothers and sisters. From Lagos, Victoria Olabode, NTA News.
The need for copyright enforcement agencies to collaborate with the Nigerian Copyright Commission in order to protect the rights of intellectual properties has been advocated. This was at a workshop on the dynamic role of intellectual property in promoting innovation and economic development. Joy Ken Abakboya has details of the event in Lagos.
Infringement and counterfeiting in the health sector are major challenges confronting intellectual property owners in Nigeria.
The essence is to be able to ensure that the right owners have a good, viral copyright regime to be able to create more jobs.
Nigerians are very brilliant people, capable of creating knowledge that can be protected intellectually.
To this end, speakers at the event say regulatory agencies and copyright law enforcement agencies should protect the rights of intellectual property owners by ensuring an environment where these owners are adequately rewarded for their works.
It's high time that the government of the Federation of Nigeria is to take a decisive step in churning out a policy direction, to stem the...
As we're really looking to create jobs for more Nigerians, it's important that our country is able to attract new investment.
Intellectual property, which is supposed to be an instrument of economic advancement, is in a very sordid condition. Stakeholders say constant awareness campaign on the importance of intellectual property to economic development is key to addressing issues like unemployment in the country. In Lagos, John Ken Abakbuya, NTA News.
The first Miss Nigeria, United States of America, Frances Udoku, says her tenure will be a platform to empower Nigerian youth. She disclosed this during a courtesy visit to the NTA Lagos Network Center. The report.
Miss Nigeria USA Frances Udoku says her mission in Nigeria is to reduce the rate of unemployment in the country by promoting entrepreneurial and vocational skills among Nigerian youth.
I am a little concerned with some of the ways in which the youth are going. I'm excited to know that I am given the opportunity to empower some of the youth here.
She disclosed that as a in diaspora, she hopes to correct the misconception of Nigeria and preserve the Nigerian culture.
Nigeria is not a bad country. Besides all the, some of the things that you hear in the news that are negative, let's understand that, in any country you do have some of these faults.
The Deputy Director of News, NTA Lagos Network Center, Ademola Oladoshu, on behalf of the NTA management, says NTA will provide a platform to support her humanitarian services in the development of her country.
It's also an indication of the appreciation of what NTA is doing at projecting Nigeria and its rich culture, particularly to Nigerians in diaspora. So it behooves all of us to make Nigeria a better place for all of us to be proud of.
The more exposed she is, the more people will get to know her, the more people will get to know her platform, her ideas, and that will get down to the people that she needs, which are the grassroots and the people.
Miss Nigeria USA, a beauty competition, supports young Nigerian women in the United States who have the passion to be involved in Nigeria's development, particularly in the area of promoting education of young Nigerian women.
And on that note, we end our contribution from Lagos. Back to you, Femi, in Abuja, for more on Nationwide News.
Thank you, Jennifer. The Nigeria Police Force has signed a memorandum of understanding with the German Development Corporation. The agreement, among other things, is to advance the training and skill as well as upgrade also the police personnel as well as support police reforms and border security. The Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, signed for the Nigerian police, while the country representative signed for the German corporation. Mr. Arase said the memorandum of understanding was a fallout of President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Germany shortly after his inauguration to further strengthen police and other security services capacity to fight insurgency and other vices in the country.
We are glad you are going to intervene with us in terms of capacity building in the human rights, border patrols, issues of terrorism, investigation, crime scene management, and other areas where we we will be able to collaborate. And I can assure you that the police force, after the signing of this memorandum of understanding, will be looking forward to us, kickstarting this program, and it's going to be beneficial both to Germany and also to Nigeria.
The Inspector General of Police on a memorandum of understanding with the German Development Corporation. And also the Inspector General of Police was also in Jos on a visit. What happened? Let's join Femi Cheat in our Jos Network Center. It's over to you.
Good evening and welcome to Jos. Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, has reiterated his commitment to improving the welfare of the Nigerian police to curb cases of corruption within the force. The IG gave the assurance in Jos while on a working visit to the Plateau State Police meetings.
Mr. Arase commended officers and men of the command for their resilience in fighting crime and insurgency in the state. To make real his commitment, the police boss announced the promotion of some officers and men of the command for their exemplary conduct, while others with pending issues had their requests attended to.
I am here as the IG because you people are there. If you are not there, who am I going to inspect as an Inspector General of Police? Nobody. So your welfare is very, very passionate to my heart. We are opening up ourselves to public accountability. A police force that is not accountable to the members of the public cannot achieve this mandate. And your commissioner has told me that the people of Plateau, they love you so passionately. To those people who much is needed, what is expected?
The police boss was, however, quick to warn erring personnel to desist or face appropriate sanction. On the issue of roadblocks, Mr. Arase noted that the roadblocks remain dismantled, but stop and search exercises will be carried out periodically as the situation demands. Plateau State Police Commissioner Nasri Oki identified poor infrastructure, inadequate vehicles and other logistics as some of the challenges facing the command, but appreciated the IG for his intervention so far.
We have no problems. In fact, I think here we prefer police to any other security agencies. There have been equally requesting for another mobile squadron in this place because of the volatility of the Plateau South has one area command, Plateau North has one area command, but the Central has none. And we believe to be in tune with other senatorial area commands, there should be one area command.
The police helmsman later had an interactive session with religious opinion leaders and other stakeholders on ways to address security challenges in the state. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
The Plateau State government has inaugurated 2 committees to investigate the purchase of medical equipment for the new government house clinic and the boarding of government vehicles. Correspondent Kim Quartz reports that the committees were set up following the interim report submitted by the Transition Committee.
Inaugurating the 2 committees, Governor Lalong, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Rufus Baturi, said the Transition Committee recommended that government should constitute investigative committees to unearth what they describe as abnormalities in the purchase of medical equipment and boarding of government vehicles by the past administration. The terms of reference of the committees, Mr. Baturi said, is to establish, among other things, if or not in the award of contract for the purchase of medical equipment, confirm the amount paid to the supplier, and determine if the entire transaction was genuine. Others are to recover vehicles not properly boarded or illegally taken away, and make other useful recommendations that will assist government. The SSG, while urging the 2 committees to do a thorough job, said this measure became necessary to ensure transparency.
The setting of these committees is no way intended to witch hunt anybody or to make revenge on anything, because to us as a government, revenge is the pleasure of a narrow and weak mind.
Chairman of the Committee on Purchase of Medical Equipment, Dr. Nandul Durfa, and that of boarding of government vehicles, Mr. Ezekiel Gomes assured the government of their commitment to carry out the assignment with all seriousness.
Give you all the relevant information in earnest.
We shall do our best. We shall be committed to this assignment, and we shall unearth all relevant information required to make sure we succeed.
The committees have 2 weeks to complete their assignments. In Jos, Kim Gotts, NTA News.
Governor Mohammed Abdullahi Abubakar of Bauchi State has warned public officers not to see public office as an opportunity for personal enrichment. He gave the warning at the swearing-in of Alhaji Ahmed Suleiman as the secretary to the Bauchi State government. Correspondent Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed has more.
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That was Alhaji Ahmed Suleiman, the new secretary to the government of Bauchi State. Until his appointment, Ahmed Suleiman had served Bauchi State in different capacities that include secretary to the military government in 1996. Congratulating him on his appointment, Governor Muhammad Abdullahi Abubakar noted that the appointment of Alhaji Ahmed Suleiman is informed by his wealth of knowledge, experience, sense of responsibility, and loyalty.
The people of Bauchi State expect us to turn around the fortune of the state for the better. This is the challenge that we must face squarely. Governance is all about security, improvement of the socio-economic well-being of the generality of the people. It is therefore only natural for the governed to expect the provision of these basic needs from the government.
He, however, charged him to justify the confidence reposed on him by making accountability and transparency his guiding principles. Other officers sworn in include Alhaji Audu Katagum as the Chief of Staff, Government House Bauchi, senior special assistants, advisors, and personal assistants. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
And that does it from this end. Femi, it's back to you in Abuja for more news.
Thank you, Committees. The Ministry of Education has raised alarm over the trend of admission racketeering into Nigerian institutions and the award of scholarships in the ministry. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Dr. Mark John Obiela, says Nigerians should be wary of fraudsters who have no relationship at all with the ministry. Frank Auzomaolua has more.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Dr. Mark John Mobiala, who briefed journalists in Abuja, says, contrary to telephone calls and text messages being sent by fraudsters who demand payment into some bank accounts for admission purposes, the ministry does not charge money to offer admissions into Unity colleges or any higher institution. He explains that candidates are selected on national merit, state equity, and other criteria without the use of agents.
The general public is hereby informed that no money is collected for processing and awarding scholarship for admission into the Unity colleges or any federal institution. We want to advise candidates to disregard completely messages, and we warn that whoever does any transaction of such does so at his or her own risk.
The procedures for obtaining scholarship awards, according to the Permanent Secretary, are through online application, followed by nationwide interviews and ratification of results by an interministerial committee. In Abuja, Franka Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
Time now to take a short break. Nationwide continues shortly.
Enjoy great nourishment. Eat Mecca White Oats. It's easy and quick to prepare. No artificial flavor, preservative, or coloring. Rich in fiber and vitamins. Improves bone health and is suitable for diabetics. Mecca White Oats is made from whole grains and is good for children, adults, pregnant, and nursing mothers. Nothing says good morning like a warm bowl of Mecca White Oats. Available in leading supermarkets nationwide. Mecca White Oats is a product of Chris Hope Nigeria Limited, 40 Lusaka Street, Wuse Zone 6.
And the nation's jurisprudence, especially settling commercial disputes, has received a boost with a book titled Commercial Arbitration Law and Practice in Nigeria, presented to the public in Abuja. Liutuku reports that the book was written by Professor Paul Odenige.
The 11-chapter book, which consists of 443 pages, aims at extending the frontiers of arbitration in the country, especially in the extent of court intervention in the proceedings. With the growth in international trade and investment in Nigeria and the interest generated by alternative dispute resolution processes, the author, Professor Odenigi, said there is need to contribute to the existing literature in the area.
I felt that I should use this book to take a position on several issues and encourage further discussion.
We've now introduced arbitration and ADR to our curriculum in the University and Nigerian Law School. So this is one textbook that's also going to help.
Stakeholders commended the author and the book to help in promoting business activities and expeditious dispensation of justice in commercial disputes.
I want to believe that this is a major contribution to the growth of awareness and knowledge when it comes to ADR.
Thank God that we have such a book. It is quite illuminating.
I believe that with time, Nigerians will begin to, resort more to arbitration.
The book is recommended to practitioners of arbitration, students, and those who desire more in the concept of arbitration and its benefit. In Abuja, Liutuku, NTA News.
And before we join Bini, let's take a health report which says a pilot program to strengthen the skills of health workers and equip them to provide high-quality treatment to patients in line with international guidelines has been initiated by the Federal Minister of Health. Rashida Mustafa Olagunju reports that it is also aimed at reducing unnecessary pain experienced by some patients.
Our 2012 report indicates that about 177,000 people died as a result of moderate or severe pain, particularly from cancer. This is attributed to insufficient medicine to treat moderate or severe pains. In response to this, the Federal Ministry of Health is collaborating with the American Cancer Society's Treat the Pain program to improve access to essential pain medicines in Nigeria.
The pain-free hospital initiative is designed to integrate pain treatment into service delivery at hospital level. It is envisioned that the one-year pilot project of pain-free hospital initiative will further refine the design of the project model for effective replication in other federal and tertiary facilities across the country.
The pilot scheme starts with 4 tertiary institutions.
For a long time, we didn't have morphine in Nigeria, and the quality of care of our patients drastically went down. Now that we have morphine, it will go a long way in improving the quality of care of our patients.
Apart from making the drug available to patients at affordable rates, the initiative will also train doctors, nurses, and even patients on how to effectively assess and treat pain using modern medicines without abusing them. In Abuja, Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
Benin Studio is next on Nationwide with Obey on happenings in that zone. Take it away.
Good afternoon and welcome to Benin. Permanent secretaries, directors, and assistant directors in Edo State Civil Service are to be held responsible for fraud discovered in their various ministries and departments. Governor Adams Oshomole gave the indication at a seminar for top government officials on the importance of enhancing internally generated revenue in the state. Udwakobonga reports.
Governor Oshomole said, apart from paying workers' salaries, government has the primary role to improve on the quality of life of the people by providing basic social and economic infrastructure. He said the avenues backed by law through which government draws revenues include land use charges, consumption tax, among others. The governor said some ministries are touting the effort of government by involving in shady deals, not collecting accurate revenues, diverting them rather than pay into government treasury.
After this seminar, our revenues do not improve, I will make the assumption that either is collectively responsible, and therefore their remuneration and benefit tied to availability of locally generated revenue.
The State Head of Service, Mr. Jerry Obazele, is optimistic that the participants will be fully equipped on revenue generation, given the caliber of resource persons and the topics to be treated. In Benin, Udakobong Achibong, NTA News.
The Delta State government says its economic diversification project is set to witness unprecedented boost as arrangements to tap into the vast solid mineral base of the state have been advanced. The Deputy Governor Kingsley Otuaro made this known when he received members of the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee (FAC) in Asaba. Eloho Agbra has that report.
The Deputy Governor said, following the fall in the price of Nigeria's mainstay, which is crude oil, it has become imperative for the nation to diversify its economy. He said the smart agenda of the Okowa-led administration is geared towards harnessing the state's enormous solid mineral resources with a view to actualizing its vision of prosperity for all Deltans.
Delta State is not only blessed or with other than that resources. And we hope very strongly that all of these resources going forward will be taken advantage of to ensure that we avail our people of the much needed development and growth.
The leader of the team, Professor Afola Abikpopo, said they were in the state to factor ways of boosting Nigeria's economy through alternative sources of revenue.
We believe that Delta State is also going to become another big-time player in other areas of revenue generation.
Members of FAC are drawn from different federal agencies. Elo Agbra, NTA News.
The need for residents of Ekiti State to be security conscious and assist relevant agencies to curb the spate of kidnapping has been emphasized. Chairman, Ekiti State House Assembly Committee on Security, Mr. Derek Belomo, said this when he led other committee members to some families of victims in Ilogbo and Ado-Ekiti. Ayodeji Ogunshaki reports.
The spate of kidnapping in Ekiti State has continued to be a source of concern to the people, worried by the ugly trend, especially the recent kidnap of two women, Madam Rose Aina at Ilogbo Ekiti and Alaja Oladapo at Mufere area of Ado-Ekiti, who is said to have been released, informed the visit of the security committee to the victims' families. The chairman, Derek Belomo, who sympathized with the family of the victims, explained that there is synergy with various security agencies to reach the state of such menace.
Truly, the police cannot handle these issues, especially the security, because these kidnappers are living in our society. But if the landlords, especially, assisting the police, it's very easy for us to assist the police to ensure that there is peace in Ekiti State.
Other members of the committee emphasized the need for people to be security conscious and report suspicious movements to security agents. A member of the victim family at Ilogbo Ekiti appreciated the committee for the visit. In Ado-Ekiti, Ayodeji Ogunshaki, NTA News.
The importance of educating the girl child and empowerment of women were thrown up as experts at the University of Benin met to discuss gender issues. Elizabeth Owotoma reports.
The professionals believe that a sound education for the girl child will place her on the pedestal for which success will be guaranteed. They said if women are empowered financially, they will have the capacity to raise a good family.
Of social roles have tended to militate against enjoying of rights and full participation of women on equal basis with men in national development.
We should prepare ourselves as well, because many of us we don't prepare ourselves adequately. We know we are competing with the men, and we know that to compete with the men, you have to do more.
We need to encourage women or girls to aspire to high positions, and we also want the government to encourage them or appointing them to positions of influence.
If the place of the woman is concerned with the home, then you can't really get to the top.
To some others, the issue goes beyond education and material empowerment. They say integrity and moral uprightness are keys to success. In Benin, Elizabeth Owotoma, NTA News.
That's our package from Benin, Femi. It's back to you for the continuation of Nationwide News.
Thank you. We still have another report for Benin, which indicates that as the rain intensifies with apprehension by the people about flooding of their areas, the Benin City Stormwater Project, which was started by the state government to check the phenomenon, has been commended by the people. Tell us they have the details.
The project, which started in 2009, is in several phases and at various stages of completion. The project is to serve several communities which have suffered from the menace of flooding. Some of the pain experienced by residents of most of the areas is becoming a thing of the past, with a few areas yet to be effectively tackled.
As of today, this particular stormwater project aspect of it, I think, has contained the flood problem, let me say, in my area.
The government have done quite credible. You can see that if it rains now, you cannot see a single drop of water here.
If it rain, they fall. If it full, you go this side. Go this side. If you go this side, go to enter my house. That's the day you enter.
The state government said the project is ongoing and is doing everything possible to ensure it delivers on the project to bring the much desired relief to the citizens.
That if we go into an area, we do not only solve the flooding problems there, we fix the roads that are in that area, we ensure that there are walkways, we put street lighting and make that area a brand new city.
The storm project is to address 23 troubled areas, while the drain alone is put at the cost of 150 billion naira. The project is expected to be completed in 25 years or more, depending on the availability of funds and the weather. In Benin, Sela Sande, NTA News.
From Benin was the update on Salah preparations. NEMA also distributes relief materials to Northeast. These are more as we join Bala in Sokoto.
Thank you, Femi, and welcome to Sokoto. The National Emergency Management Agency has presented relief materials to internally displaced persons from the Northeast in Sokoto. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports that the items were presented to Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency for onward distribution to the victims.
About 2,183 indigents of Sokoto State were among the internally displaced persons brought back home from the northeastern part of the country. Presenting the relief materials, Director General National Emergency Management Agency, Muhammad Sani Sidi, represented by the Zonal Coordinator Abuja Operations Office, Mr. Ishaya Isa Chonoko, said the items are meant to cushion the plight of the displaced persons. The Director General expressed happiness with the role of the Sokoto State Government in providing quick response to the IDPs from Sokoto, Kebbi and Zamfara states.
The federal government, through NEMA, again deemed it necessary to further assist these brothers and sisters who are back home unprepared with these relief materials that comprises food and non-food items.
Receiving the items, Director General of Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency Hassan Muhammad Machido thanked the management of the NEMA for the assistance. He said the gesture has demonstrated the federal government's commitment to the welfare of the IDPs.
There has never been a time disaster strikes and we communicate with NEMA without NEMA responding adequately.
He assured NEMA of the state government's readiness to assist people affected by disasters, saying the relief items will be judiciously distributed. In Sokoto, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
In anticipation of this year's Eid al-Fitr, which is likely to hold Friday, preparations have reached advanced stage for the celebration of the occasion in Sokoto. Usman Zubairu was in Sokoto Metropolis for a situation report.
The story was not different, as they had been jam-packed with buyers from within and outside the state. This may not be unconnected with the fact that civil servants in Sokoto State had been paid July salaries. The prices of foodstuff, vegetables and animals were relatively high in the market. Some of the shoppers said although the prices of commodities are high, they are however grateful to God to witness the Ramadan. The Sokoto State Central Eid Ground, where the Sultan of Sokoto is expected to worship, is wearing a new look. The road leading to the Sultan Palace and other important roads had been beautified. On security, the Sokoto State Commissioner of Police Salisu Fage says adequate measures have been taken to ensure a hitch-free Salah celebration in the state.
We are assuring the members of the public that we have enough manpower to cover the celebrations, inshallah.
He also urged the public to maintain utmost vigilance throughout the period and beyond. In Sokoto, Osmansville, NTA News.
And that's how far we can go from that zone. On Global Tidbits, a United Nations announces deal to fight global poverty, and Britain's held over terrorist video. There's a more on Global Tidbits with Talatu Ezeriki.
Reports say that the United Nations has announced intentions to fight global poverty. This comes as the rich and poor countries agree to overhaul global finance for international development and unlock money to end global poverty. In Somalia, at least 2 senior Al-Shabaab commandants are reportedly killed in a drone strike in the southwestern region part of the country. Elsewhere in China, a group of foreigners that include 9 Britons arrested in the country are being suspected of distributing terrorist videos. From the Asian continent, a staged fire between India and Pakistan over the disputed Kashmir region has claimed at least 5 lives, a development that is coming days after a meeting between leaders of the 2 countries was held in Russia. And on Iran, there is excitement over landmark nuclear deal between Iran and world powers that has enabled Tehran to restore normal trade with many countries that include India. That is on Global Tidbits. Talat Izarike, NTA News.
And the sports now stakeholder set agenda for the Super Eagles coach Sunday Olise as to seeded golfer chase glory at the 14th British Open. Kene Magbeke has more on Sports Update.
Following the unveiling of Sunday Olise as the new coach of the Super Eagles, stakeholders have been speaking on their expectations. While some respondents are calling for caution in team selection, others say he should restore winning mentality in the national team.
Let the action on the pitch speak for itself, and we should try in the part of the Nigerian Football Federation not to put unnecessary pressure on him.
He said anyone that is not playing in the big leagues cannot play for the national team. Well, that's his pattern. But we all know that he might not be right at all times, because there could be some players who is not had that opportunity to play for the big leagues, and they are quality players.
Meanwhile, contrary to rumors circulating in some quarters that the National Sports Commission was instrumental to the sacking of the erstwhile coach of the Super Eagles, Stephen Keshi, Director General of the Commission, Al-Hassan Yakmut, says the Commission serves as a conveyor belt for sports development in the country and has no hands in the selection of coaches for national teams. Yakmut spoke in Abuja midweek while receiving the newly unveiled Super Eagles coach, Sunday Olise.
When the Commission mentioned due process, the Commission has no technical authority to select a coach. The only institution in Nigeria that is qualified to pick up a coach for Nigeria in football is the Nigeria Football Federation.
The 144th edition of the British Open Golf Championship teed off Thursday at St Andrews with the absence of the injured defending champion and world #1 Rory McIlroy. Few players made impressive starts on round 1. Jordan Spieth, who is chasing a 3rd successive major in the year, will go top in the rankings if he clinches the Claret Jog on Sunday. With Sports Update, Kenan Imabodike, NTA News.
And as it on NTA Nationwide, we thank you for joining us. My name is Femi Johnson. But do join us for more reports that will come your way at 6 o'clock, also the 7 o'clock news. And don't forget also that in 9 o'clock network news will be on. Good afternoon.